As fans of the Chicago Bears, we're always riding the roller coaster of emotions. Hope one moment, despair the next. When the dust settles on any season, we're left wondering, are we finally on the upswing or just setting ourselves up for another brutal letdown? With the competition in the NFC North intensifying, the stakes couldn't be higher, and every decision made by our front office could tilt the scales between playoff glory and yet another rebuilding year. What's on the horizon for the Bears? We're just a few days away from the trade deadline, and the air is electric with possibility. What if just hear me out Chicago gets the kind of offensive weapon that changes everything? Imagine adding a multi-dimensional playmaker to boost an already budding offense that's primed to make some noise this season, as we've seen over the years. Bold moves can make or break franchises, and the Bears have a history of both heartbreak and legendary bargain deals. Let's rewind a bit. Remember when we lost out on potentially transformative players through last-minute trade failures? The Bears have always walked a fine line between glory and heartache, and it sparked countless debates among fans. What could have been, if only they'd gone after the right talent? We've seen legendary players rise and fall, and what separates the great from the mediocre can often come down to decisive actions taken in moments like these. And on that note, with the whispers growing louder, we have to ask ourselves, is the front office ready to pull the trigger on something big? Could they be eyeing one of the league's most electrifying running backs? This is where we bring it all back to reality. This is Bears News Fan Report, your home for the hottest takes, breaking news, and buzz surrounding our beloved Bears. If you want to stay in the loop on everything Chicago Bears rumors, trades, or analysis, you need to hit that subscribe button now. We can't afford to miss a single moment as this season unfolds. Now, the rumor that's making waves is a proposed trade that would send none other than Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints to the Chicago Bears. Yes, you heard that right. The Saints are reportedly considering parting with their star running back, who bounced back from an injury-plagued 2024 season to showcase a strong performance in the offseason. He's not just any player, he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro. And if the Bears can snag him, he could be the much-needed game-changer this offense craves. So, what's fueling these trade talks? The Saints are in a transitional phase, and while a healthy Kamara can still deliver phenomenal production, they seem focused on building for the future. New Orleans appears to be leaning into the idea that stockpiling draft picks could serve them better than keeping a player on the wrong side of 30 in a rapidly changing division. Now let's switch gears and focus on how this could impact the Bears. Currently, depth behind D'Andre Swift in the backfield is alarming. Adding a dual-threat running back like Kamara could add firepower to Ben Johnson's scheme, complementing a youthful core that includes the likes of DJ Moore and promising rookie Rome Odunze. Can you envision a backfield that includes both Swift and Kamara? The creativity alone could keep opposing defenses on their toes all game long. Statistically speaking, Kamara's 950 rushing yards last season, coupled with his ability to contribute as a pass catcher, makes him a versatile threat that the Bears could desperately utilize. He'd not only impact the rushing game but enhance the passing attack, creating mismatches that would drive defensive coordinators crazy. But wait, the ripple effect doesn't end there. If this trade goes through, it could shift the Bears' playoff aspirations into high gear, giving them a well-rounded offense as they push forward toward a competitive NFC North. Surrounding a young quarterback like Caleb Williams with established talent gives Chicago a fighting chance. However, where does this leave Kamara? Will he be a high-end RB2 having to share touches, or can he reclaim his crown as the primary playmaker in Chicago? That's a whole narrative we'll need to explore down the road. As we ponder these developments, let's remember that acquiring Kamara could potentially pan out to be either a masterstroke or another hurdle for the Bears. There's so much at stake with every decision this front office makes as they gear up for a season that could define a generation of Bears football. What if the Bears managed to pull this off? What heights could they reach? One thing's for certain. We're on the edge of our seats, and you won't want to miss what comes next. Keep your eyes peeled and stay tuned to Bears News Fan Report as we keep you updated on all the latest news and rumors surrounding the gridiron. Football season is heating up, and we're just getting started. Bears fans, the air crackles with tension and uncertainty, and you should be just as fired up about it. What is it that drives our passion more than the deafening roar of Soldier Field? The icy lakefront wind sweeping through the stands, whispering possibilities as we cling to our hopes for a brighter tomorrow? This is more than just football. This is Chicago. So if you bleed Chicago blue, don't you dare forget to subscribe. We ride this storm together. Now, let's delve into the reality that threatens to shake our world as we know it. Picture this. Alvin Kamara, the dynamic running back of the New Orleans Saints, is at the eye of an impending storm. Could he really be headed our way? Imagine the ripple effects if this deal goes down. Could locker room dynamics shift like the Chicago River's current, with players supporting or pushing back against the uncertainty that would come with such a high-profile acquisition? What about the rival NFC North teams? Do they sense blood in the water? You bet they do. Watching our front office's moves, they're circling like hawks, ready to capitalize on any potential fracture in our strategy. The chess game intensifies. As the trade deadline looms, and with each passing minute, the stakes grow astronomical. Eager whispers float through the air. Reports suggest that the Saints are edging closer to a complete rebuild. And with rumblings of players like Michael Thomas potentially on the chopping block, Chicago's name continues to surface as a prime destination. Could we be in for a complete overhaul of our offensive arsenal? The tantalizing speculation could have serious implications, creating fractures not just in the locker room but also on the field, potentially affecting team cohesion even before we lace up our cleats for the next big matchup. Just think about it. If the Bears pull the trigger on Kamara, we're not just augmenting our backfield. We're sending a message to every resentful fan in the stands and every doubting analyst that we're here to contend, that we will not settle for mediocrity. Statistically, Kamara's recent performance was electric, with his 950 rushing yards shining like a beacon in our team's search for a resurgence. However, can we expect him to emulate that same magic in a new offensive scheme? Will he be trying desperately to reclaim his crown? Or will he find himself still navigating that slippery slope of divided attention with D'Andre Swift? This deal has the potential to be either a triumphant stepping stone or yet another pitfall in our storied and sometimes painful history. It feels almost poetic to think of Kamara donning the navy and orange as echoes from our '85 glory days resonate through the hearts of long-suffering fans. Could this be the move that finally whispers and crescendos into a narrative of triumph reminiscent of legends like Walter Payton and Brian Urlacher? Yet, in the same breath, we must confront the fear of a different legacy. What if this is another misstep akin to the ages since? Another disappointment sealed in a deal that left us with scars reminiscent of the heartbreak from seasons past. Are we ready to risk it all? The tension in the city rises, and not just from the steaming tailgate smoke wafting through the parking lots on a crisp fall day, but from the very fabric of what makes the game so enthralling. In this gritty saga of wins and losses, can we trust that our front office knows how to navigate these turbulent waters? Picture the crunch of cleats against the frozen turf once more, the deafening cheers and chants echoing around Soldier Field, as we await updates on what could be the catalyst for a rebirth of our beloved Bears franchise. Every decision could become a defining moment for this generation of Bears football. Time is running out. The deadline looms ominously on the horizon. The possibility for hope flickers, tenuous yet dazzling. Would you pull the trigger knowing this could paint our narrative for the next decade? The time to decide is now, and this thrilling journey is far from over. Keep your eyes peeled. The stakes couldn't be higher, and we owe it to our city and our team to stay alert.